I was disturbed myself. And I hope that dude, whoever they catch him, a good punishment, not easy one.
Man, that's really something to think about, you know. Because I really don't know how. I mean, I really will feel hurt about it because from I heard it about the young child, man, that hurt me. That touched me. That touched me even as if it was my own.
I would want to make sure justice is served and justice is served immediately to the perpetrator. That would be my feelings, that justice is served and quickly to that perpetrator.
Additionally, they feel as though persons who commit sexual assault to minors should face stiffer penalties.
You give a man 10 years, 15 years, and he's going to repeatedly do the same thing all over again. It may not be the same person, but somebody other child's going to get it. And, you know, sometimes you find him right in the school, so.
Me? Boy, look, he's lucky. Police catch him. If it was my daughter, God forbid that. I can't tell you.
They need to bury him somewhere deep in prison. I mean, he shouldn't have been out on the streets right now. So, you know, cases like that, they need to, you know, consider looking into those cases deeply.
Now, the individual is in police custody. Sources say the man has appeared in court for matters of similar nature. Assistant Superintendent of Police Stephen Roll says the police are doing their jobs to get these suspects off the streets.
Matters like this, I want to say to the public, in any matters actually of criminal activity, the police always do what needs to be done to get these persons off the streets. But once they go before the courts, it's off the police hands. It lies now with the judicial system, and the police has no control over that.
Well, in other news, the Grand Bahamian tourism economy is improving, and Director at the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism on Grand Bahama, Stephen Johnson, says tourism is recovering from the challenges that followed Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic. During an exclusive interview with our Simone Davis, Johnson discussed the rise and fall of tourism on Grand Bahama in recent years. Here's her report.
The director at the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism on Grand Bahama, Stephen Johnson, says since taking office in 2019 following the catastrophic Hurricane Dorian, it has been a challenge to revitalize the tourism economy on Grand Bahama. Johnson says while his ministry had several initiatives planned following Dorian, thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, those initiatives were not executed. The greatest challenge, he notes, has been getting heads in beds on Grand Bahama.
The thing about it is working with the stakeholders. You know, the hotels, the tour operators, the taxi cab drivers, and working with them to bring business into Grand Bahama has been difficult, you know, because we've been through storms here. Obviously, Dorian really impacted Grand Bahama, and then COVID. And then, the economical situation. But now we see light behind the end of the tunnel. We see people coming in, investing. We see an airport that is going to take off soon. And confidence in businesses.
However, Johnson says his challenges did not stop him from traveling to other islands and countries to build relationships that could benefit the Grand Bahamian tourism economy. Now, with the ease of COVID-19 restrictions, Johnson is focused on re-implementing those initiatives, which he believes would enhance the tourism product on the island.
We wanted to develop the fraternal market. And I say the fraternal market as a Prince Hall Mason. And I'm someone who's a member also of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. I saw big opportunities for the fraternal market being developed to make Grand Bahama the fraternity capital of the Bahamas. And working with the sororities and the fraternities and the lodges here, I mean, we started to bring in a little bit of business. And so that is going to be huge growth for Grand Bahama. You know, I mean, I'm talking big conventions. And as we get more hotel product, I think we're going to reap the benefits of all that.
Johnson was recently appointed to Director of Global Sales and Marketing for China and Canada and will be relocated to Canada in the coming days. He says his goal in that new role is to bridge the gap between the Bahamas, Canada, and China while implementing ways that the Bahamas could directly profit from those countries.
Going north now will just be an opportunity. It'll be better for Grand Bahama, for Canada, China, and also the U.S. Whatever comes at me, I will serve. But Grand Bahama, we will continue to pay special attention to Grand Bahama.
Johnson emphasized that although he would be assuming a new expanding role for several other islands, Grand Bahama would remain his top priority. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, thanks, Simone. Communities throughout the island will be able to celebrate the nation's 49th independence in grand style after a 2-year interruption due to COVID-19. The Ministry for Grand Bahama announcing this much at a press conference today. A full slate of events held under the theme Proud to be Bahamian has been coordinated by the Grand Bahama Independence Committee, a theme that the Minister for Grand Bahama says resonates deeply with her.
Independence celebrations are very special for several reasons. Firstly, the residents of Grand Bahama will unite as a community to give praise and thanks to God for His grace and mercy and His continued guidance and protection after everything this island has been through. Secondly, we are officially on the road to marking our nation's 50th year of independence, the Bahamas' Golden Jubilee. For this reason, we proudly celebrate our culture and heritage.
Now the celebrations will kick off on Thursday, June 30th at 7 p.m. at the 8 Mile Rock Fish Fry, where 4 Grade A Junkanoo groups are set to bring the excitement with the Unity Junkanoo Rush Out. And they will conclude on July 11th with the return of the famous Pelican Point Coconut Festival. Pointing to the many challenges this island has endured, the minister encourages strong community involvement.
What I want to do today really is to make a clarion call to the public, to the community at large to really get involved. We want to see those Bahamian flags raised, and we want to see the Bahamian colors, and we want to reiterate to the world, to the community, that yes, we are proud to be Bahamian.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news when we come back.
Come on down to Dolly Madison and get your hurricane supplies before it's too late. Don't let supply chain issues cause you to miss out on hurricane supplies you need. Come on down. Now.
Innovation Small Business Fridays, coming up soon. An online event dedicated to Caribbean small business owners and entrepreneurs with everything they need to pivot to success, transform their business, and multiply their growth. With exciting keynotes by Kadeen Mayers and Mark Farrell and interactive workshops, learn how to make money, gain digital know-how, and pitch your exciting new business idea. Don't miss this opportunity. We'll be giving away $15,000 in cash and prizes. Register now at flowbusiness.co/events.
It's Third Dimension's weekend flash sale, 25% off store-wide and 15% off tiles, June 30th through July 2nd. Doors not included.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
So put me together, break me apart again. No time to fly.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union holding its first general meeting on Grand Bahama yesterday under the theme Unionism, Dedication, Professionalism, a New Direction for Educators. Minister for Education, Technical and Vocational Training, Glenys Hannah Martin, served as the keynote speaker for the two-day event. During its first session, President of the Trade Union Congress, Obie Ferguson, provided remarks urging teachers to become better leaders and reminding them that education is the engine to growth in our nation.
Lead leaders sometimes are not what they ought to be. And education is a great engine for development. You can't develop without it. And you are in charge of delivering that. Don't listen to nonsense. People who are running on the side and trying to show a little interference. Stay focused.
The meeting continued with a business session where members presented and reviewed their annual reports and discussed the next steps and much needed improvements to the education system. Ferguson also took the time to commend the Davis Cooper administration for taking a hands-on approach to addressing union matters.
As recent as Friday, the government of the Bahamas, with some issues involving teachers, or administrators, I should say. We sat down. We are scheduled to be in court on Wednesday. But this government says no. We're going to sit down. We're going to negotiate. And as a result, it saved me having to wear the Englishman wig on Wednesday. That is where we're going forward.
The government's announcement to slash the country's food import bill by 2025 has been met with much anticipation. A nonprofit organization rendering assistance to Grand Bahama and Abaco since Hurricane Dorian's passage is back on island, giving an update on their monthly farmer-to-farmer training sessions. Our Raven Davis has the details.
Well, the topic of food security has once again been brought to the fore, with the nation's leader recently announcing his administration's intention to reduce this country's food import bill. Well, Convoy of Hope is facilitating that process during their monthly training sessions, and they say they've been receiving good response.
It's been beyond incredible, I should say, especially on the islands of New Providence, Abaco, and Grand Bahama, where we're primarily focusing on. We've been having so many turnouts.
Forbes says government's announcement is welcomed news, adding that when the organization initially came to the island, meeting with government was their first order of business.
Sitting with them and being able to go over everything in regards to this project, you know, the government was kind of very interested in what's happening. Convoy of Hope wanted to work together with the government. And, you know, as we met with a lot of farmers and even persons in backyard farming, that was one of the things that they actually talked about. You know, what is the government doing? Are they going to increase their budget? Are they going to help with the need of the country to build food security? So the mere fact that the government is doing their best to accommodate that, I mean, that is perfect right now.
The ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine continues to threaten food security globally. On that note, Forbes says this is prime time for the country to reduce its heavy reliance on food imports.
We know that Russia and Ukraine provide a lot of food resources around the world. So we know a lot of import and export happens globally with different countries. And then the Bahamas, we import so much. So definitely those things will have an impact on us. I mean, even if it has an impact on countries like America, what do you think about us?
Volunteer in the initiative, Carol Miles, says these training sessions have also exposed a number of marketing and production opportunities.
And there's so many crops that grow so well here, and they're so flavorful. I think that looking at recipe development, you know, arrangements with restaurants and hotels to start marketing Bahamian foods made with Bahamian crops, I just think it's an incredible opportunity that we have, and this training is designed to help individuals move in that direction.
She adds that what the Bahamas needs moving forward is a focused collaboration between the farming community and the Ministry of Agriculture to respond to the questions of local farmers. And as for future sessions, attendees can expect topics on record keeping, economics, and more. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, thanks, Raven. The 8 Mile Rock Urban Renewal Center holding their first senior meet and greet today at the Mount Zion Baptist Church in Jonestown. The initiative was an effort to educate the seniors on the importance of registering generational property and informing their loved ones on all legal and property matters.
A lot of time when our seniors die, persons who do not have proper proper documents that outlines their estate, and then you would have confusion or turmoil after the death as it relates to who owns this and who doesn't owns that. And so what the team here in the 8 Mile Rock Urban has decided to do was to bring in the technocrats from the registry department to educate our seniors on the process and the way to go about rectifying those situations.
8 Mile Rock Urban Renewal Manager Tanya Munro noting that there is a concern about the proper management of such vital documents. Deed Supervisor at the Registrar General Department, Bianca Farrington, says once the proper documents are registered, the replacements are easily accessible.
One of the needs that we found out within the last 3 months is from the small home repair, is that individuals have no form of ID or land papers are not registered, and for that reason, that is why we are hosting this today with someone from the registrar department that is going to speak on the benefits of registering your property, registering your children, making sure that you have the proper document and the legal documents, because without them, then you have no legs to stand on if someone contests your documents.
If they're lost or destroyed, you can come and retrieve it. If you need to apply for your passport, certain documentation you would need. If you need to show any proof of ownership with your property, then you would have to come in and get a copy of your conveyance to show that, or even with satisfaction of mortgages to prove that you would have finished paying off for your home with the bank. It shows that you are free and clear.
Well, a new mobile laundry unit expected to bring relief to disadvantaged Grand Bahama residents in the most recent community involvement project by the Rotary Clubs of Grand Bahama. It is the first of its kind. The country and Rotarians are excited to finally introduce the facility after years of planning and preparation. Our Raven Davis is on this story tonight.
The Rotary Clubs of Grand Bahama strengthening one of its core ideals of service above self. The latest and arguably most inventive contribution, a new mobile laundry service unit. The facility is conveniently equipped with 6 units, 3 washers and 3 stackable dryers, and has an onboard water supply. A 35 kilowatt generator supplies it with power. Rotarian Clifford Blow explaining that the unit was born out of necessity following the devastation left behind in the wake of Hurricane Dorian.
As we went in and out of the communities, you would see what was left after the storms came through. A lot of sludge. It was very mucky and really disgusting. It was shortly after that we were approached by Disaster Aid, who wanted to do something for the island. And they were the ones who provided, they were first responders with the tents. They partnered with Rotary and they provided tents, and they wanted to do something additional. Various things were placed on the table and they settled on a mobile laundry.
He says the organization faced formidable hurdles, but they're appreciative of the sponsors who have been instrumental in bringing the project to its completion after a 3-year stall.
We had challenges with suppliers, and at the end of it, our vendor, Dovetail, did a very good job at facilitating from start to finish this mobile laundry. And we want to really thank our sponsors, which is Disaster Aid, UK, Ireland, and also USA, and Rotary. It wouldn't be possible without these persons.
Noted Rotarian Billy Ferguson says the facility will be of great benefit to those in need.
The idea is to go into communities, partner with different organizations. We have a lot of organizations out there who's just giving back to the community, and we'll have a Rotary Day, a wash day with any of the clubs who would like to join us or partner with us to just go into and make a difference.
And with the recent start of the Atlantic hurricane season, Ferguson also sharing that the unit is ready to go and has already been tested for efficiency. All aglow as she spoke to the launch, she adds that Rotarians remain committed to community service.
The fact that we're here today to launch, to tell the community of Grand Bahama that this facility is available for your use. Yes, it belongs to Rotary. We will manage it, but you are the ones who are going to be the beneficiaries of it. And so I am so excited.
For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, thanks, Raven. Your evening sports check is up next with Jay Philippe.
evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. Well, we do have some updates in track and field and tennis, but let's begin with some sports over on the island of Abaco. 2 champions were crowned on the island of Abaco as of recent. First in flag football, the Sharks defeated the Jaguars 27-19 to win the Abaco Flag Football League Championship behind Reagan Roberts, who was named Most Valuable Player. Also in hoops action, Team Squad defeated Hoopers 64-52 to win the Abaco Basketball Association Championship, winning that series 2-1. Bradley Altador and Robert Joseph combined for 34 points in the series clincher. Altador was also named MVP. Now in track and field, a number of athletes from Heath Athletics competed at the most recent B3A's Nationals. Simone Martin won gold in the under-11 girls 100, 200, and 4x1 relay. Sandra Russell came in second behind Simone to win the silver in the under-11 girls 100 and 200 and was also part of the gold medal 4x1 relay team. Miracle Martin took silver in the under-9 girls 100 and 200 meters. In the under-20 boys 400 meters, Crifta athlete Michael Stiles placed 3rd overall to take home the bronze. Winning the under-17 girls 800-meter title was Aaron Barr, who also won the 1500 meters at Nationals. And in the open men's 100, Texas Tech Terrence Jones Jr. breezed through the finish line to take the title. Sticking with Nationals update, but this time in tennis, president of the Grand Bahama Tennis Association, Natishka Barrett, congratulating the athletes from Grand Bahama that recently competed.
Out of 60 participants that they had at the Nationals, this month, there were 13 players that were either from Grand Bahama or previously lived in Grand Bahama. And actually, they did a great job. And I just wanted to commend all of the participants, as well as all of the coaches from Grand Bahama. Since I've been associated with the GBTA, this is one of the biggest groups ever that we've had going to Nassau, and they actually performed very well. And I just wanted to read off the list of names of all of the players. There's 13 of them: Noah Russell, Dylan Sykes, Aiden Ritchie, Ian Roll, Tiara Johnson, Savannah McKinney, Caitlin Pratt, Tatiana Madu, Rachel Thompson, Jaleesa Clark, Genesis Missick, Gerald Carroll, and Kayla Fox. And like I would have said, 2 of these players previously lived in Grand Bahama, but we're still proud of them. They're performing very well.
That's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
It's Third Dimension's weekend flash sale, 25% off store-wide and 15% off tiles, June 30th through July 2nd. Doors not included.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with Z&S to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Jordan Curry, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We appreciate you for your support, and to all of our Facebook viewers, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for watching. We do ask that you stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
In the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, pennies off at the pumps. The Labor Department restructured. PAHO looks to turn the page on the COVID pandemic. And BAISS track athletes honored. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Superfast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for joining us. A sigh of relief for many motorists fueling up at Esso service stations. There's a welcomed change in gas prices, which for the first time in weeks have dipped. Our Lloyd Allen has more on this story.
Well, it's a 43-cent adjustment, and that's some good news for many customers here at Esso service stations across the island, as gas has been adjusted down from $7.39 and now $6.96.
As a consumer, it means a lot. You know, you have an opportunity to spend less on gas because it's been nearly up to $8.
Gas has always been high, so I mean, and with the going rate that it was going, you know, with 7-something, it did make me switch for a minute to another station.
Okay, main thing for me is that's great because I like Esso gas.
You know, gas so expensive and now it dropped a couple of cents, whatever it is, it's good, man.
Many say as prices soared, they were forced to make adjustments in their movements.
Basically, no leisure driving for sure.
But I always would be limited in the amount of how I travel.
Boy, I had to stop going some places, especially on the island. It's hard there, boy.
Right now, I think Esso is the lowest consumer, so I've been shopping with them. So I just watch the prices to see where I can save a penny.
Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, explains the reason behind the reduction as a change in inventory.
Gas is bought in the futures market. We were able to get a good shipment of gas from our wholesalers.
But is this a short or long-term adjustment? Well, Bastian says it remains unclear. However, hopes remain high going into the summer.
Going forward, summer driving and more oil production are being ramped up by the big boys in the United States and around the world. Hopefully that would be a trend that prices might start to drop. Across
the board, as of Wednesday, Esso offered the lowest price per gallon, with Shells at $6.97 and Rubas at $6.98. Bastian adding that prices across the Family Islands may remain comparatively higher due to a number of factors.
That's nothing that we can control, but the logistics. You know, shipping gas from New Providence to Long Island to Exuma, that's an additional cost. So that's why you find that the price in the Family Islands would tend to be a little bit higher than those in New Providence.
But from all accounts, consumers are singing the same tune.
Whoever responsible for making the gas prices go down, applaud to you. Please work on it some more.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, the drop in local gas prices, no surprise to Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, who predicted as much during a press briefing on Monday following high-level meetings in Kigali, Rwanda. Caribbean leaders have long voiced concerns about global oil prices, particularly oil production in Southern American neighbor Venezuela.
Both at the Summits of America and at Shogum, the issue of energy security became very large in our discussions. So, for example, the voices of SIDS were being heard about the sanctions being placed on Venezuela. And we're now seeing movements to relieve the sanctions so that the Venezuelan oil and other related products could now be exported from Venezuela. So our voices are being heard in respect to that. Trinidad, for example, they have a reserve of gas which was being stagnated because of the relationship they have with Venezuela. We have made strong representations to the U.S. to lift the sanctions in respect to that, and we hope to see that move very soon.
In other news this evening, a number of noteworthy cases to date remain unheard in the coroner's court, and this due to a backlog, now even more extensive thanks to a brief pandemic pause. Antoine A. Smith reports.
It's been difficult to conduct these inquests at the same pace that we would normally do because we cannot physically distance.
Chief Justice Brian Murray there highlighting one of several challenges plaguing the coroner's court. The central issue being the court space at the magistrate's court complex or lack thereof.
Typically in the inquest, you have a panel, you have social services, you have the parties, you have the lawyers, and then you have family members. Currently, it is very difficult to accommodate all of those persons. And so that's one of the reasons why we haven't been able to gear up the coroner's court to its volume of work prior to the pandemic.
Of the cases yet to be heard, a large number of police-involved shootings. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, revealing earlier this year those inquests in particular have been put on pause due to the lack of a court-appointed lawyer. Speaking to press, the Chief Justice assured those cases are of top priority and that the backlog is being dealt with at a legislative level.
I did submit some recommendations to the Attorney General earlier in the year about certain changes to the legislation, which I think would make us more productive and would allow us to hit the backlog in a more effective way.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg as the judiciary looks to address the problem of a coroner's court that is also short-staffed. And while that may be a short-term fix to a mounting problem, officials continue to eye a long-term strategy. A breakout coroner's court, and as the Chief Justice suggests, maybe even a larger facility.
And we're always looking, as the Chief Justice indicated, for more suitable locations for all of our courts. And to the point on a central court facility, going into this fiscal year, we look to appoint a project team between the Office of the Attorney General and the Judiciary to start putting that together so we could hopefully be in a place by the next fiscal year to be able to source some funding to start advancing that project as well.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoinette Smith.
Phase 1 done of the judiciary's much talked about core digitization project. Chief Justice Brian Murray announcing the milestone as officials unveiled a brand new judicial training center. The idea behind the massive undertaking is to make way for a more modern court system. The end goal, to migrate digitized records into the court's management system, and as the Chief Justice says, to stop managing people and start managing data. And
that has involved digitizing 4.5 million pages of court records, which has actually been completed. That is a very significant accomplishment. We are about to start phase 2 of our digitization project, subject to getting the requisite approvals, and that's an 8-month project, which will involve digitizing another 4.5 million pages. So by the time we finish, we'll have 9+ million pages of court records digitized.
Officials also celebrating the near completion of a brand new digitization unit on the first floor of the new Bahamas Judicial Education Institute Training Center. It's the first of its kind, which will see to facilitating their new approach.
This is an extremely important unit within the judiciary. It's a new unit which I've been able to develop with the assistance and the funding through the Ministry of National Security. And it is going to be critical for our e-filing portal. And going forward, once it's all set up and established, documents will be digitized and ingested into the court management system as soon as they are filed.
Well, the Court of Appeal upholding a decision from the lower court denying bail to 22-year-old appellant Deton Grant after indicating that his safety was a major factor in that decision. It's alleged that prior to Grant's arrest, his vehicle was shot at and he plotted with others to retaliate. However, the people Grant thought were responsible for the attack were murdered, leading to the attempted murder of the virtual complainant. Grant is accused of committing those offenses. The accused murderer was hoping to be released on bail ahead of his trial, but the Supreme Court judge refused, citing his safety and the fact that the incident took place in a crime hotspot where retaliatory attacks are possible. After hearing from both sides, the appellate panel agreed, indicating that Grant's safety and that of the public may be at risk if he is released on bail. New developments at the Department of Labor, all aimed at significantly improving the agency's service to the public. Carla Palmer has the story.
With improved productivity and efficiency as its primary objective in servicing members of the public, Director at the Department of Labor, Robert Farquharson, says he thought it necessary the department be restructured. As such, he says a new strategic plan has been implemented and transformation underway as of October 1st, 2021 to effect the desired improvements.
I did a rapid assessment of the department. And the result of the rapid assessment, I found there was a drastic need for the department to go in a different direction. It was the staff morale was low. There was no direction, no strategic plan in place. I'm here to follow.
Included in the restructuring exercise was the appointment of a new leadership team of assistant directors to guide newly implemented divisions of the department.
The 3 divisions established was the Northern Bahamas, which includes Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini. The Central Bahamas, which include Andros, the Berry Islands, and Eleuthera, and the Southeastern Bahamas, which include Exuma, Long Island, and remaining islands. New Providence has always been a centralized area, and I am responsible for the operations for day-to-day in New Providence as well as the entire Bahamas.
Additionally, the staffing complement at the Labor Department has also increased by 25 persons, whose job it is to attend urgently to the needs of customers.
25 persons were hired for the newly established Rapid Response Unit, the newly established Communication Unit, and to enhance the Occupation Health and Safety and Special Projects Unit. That unit is primarily responsible for the enforcement of the statutes related to industrial relations in the Bahamas. So they were the people who would go and conduct inspections on the job site, the people who go to ensure that the employees are following the rules. Whenever there are complaints to talk about whether foreigners are doing certain things in the Bahamas, and we needed the additional staff to ensure that that unit becomes more efficient and more productive.
According to Farquharson, the department has also been upgraded with state-of-the-art technology.
Ongoing process, we have concluded the digitization of the notice of vacancy process. This is a process whereby whenever there is a need for a labor certificate, the Department of Labor is responsible for issuing that labor certificate. That system is now fully digitized, and any employer or any citizen now can, from the comfort of their own home or the office, apply for a labor certificate, pay online for a labor certificate, and have the labor certificate sent to them electronically.
Farquharson says they're inviting feedback from members of the public to the improved services made through their social media platforms of Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. After all, he says, the department exists to serve the wider community. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Still to come, more COVID concerns for PAHO, and hear more about the Disney Wish. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them.
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give into. A juicy piece of KFC to feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Hello? Keisha used something else, boy.
What is this? Tamika?
You don't even remember my name? Wow, Dread.
Girl, I've been so busy. You still planning your trip?
Girl, and I can't wait. I right here online booking my car.
You dare planning trip? You vaccinated?
Girl, we had to. We ain't been nowhere since this pandemic started. Girl, and we got a 14-day vacation.
Best vacation ever.
Girl, are you though?
Well, I know you was gonna get the vaccine because you too like travel. When y'all get your vaccine?
Girl, long time. Because you got to get your first dose, wait, then get your second dose at least 2 weeks before you travel. Johnny get his vaccine and he 12. Even Grammy get hers. Child, and Grammy say she ain't get no money. But I see her hiding that under the mattress.
Child, let me send my list because I know you going shopping.
Keisha, don't play with me.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and USAID.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Well, the numbers are not near what they used to be, but 2+ years in and COVID-related issues still cause for concern. Chief among them, long hauler syndrome, which experts say can be extremely debilitating. You have the severe and persistent fatigue, the shortness of breath, loss of smell and taste, and other respiratory, cognitive, and sensory symptoms. Focusing on the issue in this week's presser, Pan American Health Organization Director Dr. Carissa Etienne said those patients need professional support and that health systems need to acknowledge this long-lasting effect of the pandemic and, by extension, address it. In this regard, the World Health Organization has identified 3 R's to guide actions. The first, recognition.
We must actively identify people who are suffering from post-COVID condition so they can get the care and the support that they need. The impact of post-COVID condition is broad, but there is still stigma around it, and not enough healthcare workers are trained to recognize the condition. And even fewer have the expertise to help someone manage their symptoms. This is a real condition, and it must be dealt with applying robust policies and guidance. It is also crucial that we recognize the impact that post-COVID condition has on people's lives and work alongside those affected to ensure that their voices are heard and that they play an active role to guide national and regional responses.
Now, equally important, she says, is rehabilitation, and that calls for ensuring the health workforce can support the sizable population who will experience post-COVID symptoms. Etienne says this includes supporting the training and development of physical therapists, occupational and speech therapists, mental health professionals, nurses and doctors who can work together to address post-COVID conditions in a holistic manner. Then there's research.
We still do not know enough about post-COVID condition. We are also tracking more than 90,000 cases of COVID-19 in the Americas, including post-COVID conditions in the Global Clinical Platform for COVID-19. And this will help us better understand and treat this condition. But we need scientists and research institutions to commit to closely following the people suffering from this so we can learn more about this condition. And we desperately need clinicians, pharmaceutical and medical technology developers alike to find novel approaches to identify the underlying causes of post-COVID condition and how to treat it.
Well, still on health news, the Princess Margaret Hospital's diagnostic services, that's ECG, EEG, and echo, have been suspended, save in the case of an emergency. That leaves patients with appointments, walk-ins, or new referrals to either call or message the PMH scheduling unit at 808-9972. Those of you requiring elective diagnostic service should visit the hospital's business office. Further ultrasound services will be done in the hospital's X-ray department. Management apologizes for any inconvenience. Well, yesterday we warned you about sea lice and jellyfish bites as hundreds of you prepared to hit the beach. Tonight we speak to consultant physician for internal medicine and infectious disease, Dr. Nakia Forbes.
They can get caught in swimmer's clothes and come in contact with swimmer's skin and cause stinging and burning and a rash, but it's not an infectious disease, so to speak, and so cases are not globally or regionally recorded and reported, although we do see cases of sea lice at this time of year. So yes, we are seeing cases, hence the advisory that came out from the Ministry of Health.
The Bahamas fully represented at this week's United Nations Oceans Conference in Lisbon, Portugal, which propelled science-based innovative solutions to start a new chapter of global ocean action. Under the theme, Save Our Ocean, Protect Our Future, Environment Minister, the Honorable Vaughn Miller, adding his voice to the notion that the ocean is angry, evidenced by rising sea levels, diseased and bleached corals, increasing temperatures, reduced fisheries, and catastrophic storms. The government, in partnership with the Nature Conservancy, completed an assessment of the opportunities and enabling conditions for the development of blue carbon offset projects and other issues to determine the country's possible engagement with the carbon market system. Minister Miller also participating in bilateral meetings with Belize's Prime Minister on carbon markets and blue bonds options. Well, speaking of the environment, a commitment to protect the country's natural resources, now in black and white. The Defense Force and the Bahamas National Trust recently signed a memorandum of understanding in this regard. The MOU recognizes the continued presence of the force at the historic Exuma Keys Land and Sea Park, the oldest land and sea park in the world, and one of the first marine protected areas in the Caribbean. The ECLSP serves as a reservoir for marine biodiversity and a sanctuary for some of the country's most economically, ecologically, and culturally significant marine resources. As BNT Executive Director Eric Carey notes, the management and enforcement of these areas then are critically important. RBDF Commodore Dr. Raymond King sees the MOU as a vital tool to the RBDF as it enforces the laws with respect to wildlife and natural resources. It's also an opportunity, he says, for the force to gain more training and education in wildlife enforcement and conservation. Disney's latest cruise, the Disney Wish, setting sail today on its inaugural voyage to the Bahamas. The three-day cruise leaving Port Canaveral with a stop to Disney's island in the Bahamas, Castaway Cay, before heading back to Florida. On the voyage, members of the media, who along with guests are among the first to experience the new vessel, set to make its first public sail next month. 3 children from Make-A-Wish Foundation have been named ambassadors of the ship. The Disney officials say approximately 22,000 people worked on from start to finish. Well, more than 30 eager young Bahamians set to bolster the country's workforce after graduating from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's Job Ready program at Christ the King Anglican Church last evening. The spring cohort spent 9 weeks learning important job-related skills and interning at some of the country's most prestigious organizations. The 16 through 18-year-olds spent the past 2 months under the tutelage of Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture facilitators. Congratulating the group was local entrepreneur Lincoln Deal Jr. and Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bulag.
In March, I had the pleasure of witnessing these upstanding young people begin their first day of the Job Ready program. Some with the nervousness of not knowing what to expect, and others with the faces of eagerness as they accept the challenge to change the trajectory of their current circumstances. Many of them, as recent high school graduates, had found great difficulty in adjusting their sails toward direction of beginning careers, educational pursuits, and finding their places in the wider society due to the effects of the global pandemic. Nevertheless, they persevered, overcome obstacles, and made their way to this moment, and I'm honored to share in this experience.
Marley Johnson was among the standout performers.
My experience in the Job Ready program was really great, and I was so thankful for the opportunity because before the Job Ready program, I was one of those students who was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic who couldn't go off to school. So I found myself looking for a job, and then I got accepted into the Job Ready program, and I was so thankful for all of the experience and all the new people I got to meet. Yes, I got to meet a lot of new people. I'm an extrovert, so a lot of the people who I met were introverts, and I got to break them out of their shell. So I'm happy I got to change people and experience new people and experience new skills.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
The Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation is excited to announce the return of Goombay Summer Festival.
Goombay Summer Festival has been around in the Bahamas for many, many years, and we are so happy this morning to announce the relaunch of our Goombay Summer events in our Family Islands. We will be hosting 12 Goombay Summer Festivals throughout the Family Islands during the months of July and August. And our festival kicks off in Abaco, the Abacos, July 1st, in Exuma and Harbor Island on July 2nd as we celebrate, July 4th weekend celebrations with our visitors. So it's going to be quite an exciting time, and you can look forward to seeing Goombay Summer Festivals in each island, on each weekend, following through to August 27th, when it will be our last festival taking place in Eleuthera.
Come out and enjoy a fun-filled, uniquely Bahamian experience with family and friends all summer long. I'm Danielle Bodie, and this is Tourism Today.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
There's no better day to save than today at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Country Barn Corn Flakes, 18 ounce, $2.89. Cardinal Evaporated Milk, 14 ounce, $1.09. First Choice Sugar, 4 pounds, $2.39. Sweet Strawberries, 1 pound, $4.99. Pork Chop Ends, $2.29 per pound. Better savings today at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
We elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate.
A recent wave of child abuse cases has heightened awareness and sparked a call for more to be done to protect our children. BTC, in partnership with the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Renewal, has answered that call, and with the creation of a new national hotline and 3 numbers easy to remember: 711.
This 711 number, which is, again, focused on making sure that child abuse gets reported, I think it's going to go a long way to ensuring that our children are safe. And it's going to probably lead into a program that goes throughout the school so the children themselves who, today, many of our kids have cell phones at their fingertips, so they themselves can very easily, reach out for help if they are in a situation where they are uncomfortable. So I can't tell you, I couldn't be more proud of the fact that we were able to partner with the ministry on this. And again, we're doing this for free. This is a free hotline that we support as a business, a part of our corporate social responsibility. But again, we want to continue to partner with all of the government agencies, how we improve and benefit our communities.
BTC's role as a national corporate citizen is, I think, fundamental. And now as our country changes and the issues that follow evolution and growth, they're here to help us out. And so therefore I celebrate with them, and I really appreciate the work that they're doing. I appreciate the work of Mr. Foster's leadership, because yes, everyone worries about the bottom line. But in this case, they're worrying about the gross national happiness.
So the number to remember is 711. Let's all work together to ensure that all of our children are safe. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corbell Pyfrom. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
Elevate. We elevate. Elevate. We elevate.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals, and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
It's another first for Baha Mar, and you need only get your taste buds ready as the luxury resort prepares to host its first Bahamas Culinary and Arts Festival, October 21st through the 23rd. The Food and Culture Expo will feature interactive cooking demos by Baha Mar's leading talent and guest chefs, new art exhibitions in collaboration with The Current, and a ground dine-around showcasing the best the Bahamas and Baha Mar has to offer. Headlining the event are internationally renowned celebrity chefs, as well as Bahamian chef Simeon Hall Jr. Well, the Bahamas has itself a new British High Commissioner. Tom Hartley takes over the high post from Sarah Dixon, who's moving on to another diplomatic appointment. High Commissioner Dixon is slated to leave the Bahamas at the end of July, with Mr. Hartley assuming office in August. Hartley indicating in a release that he's looking forward to strengthening the relationship between the Bahamas and Britain in the areas of security, climate change, education, and more. The Bahamas National Maritime Policy Implementation Committee mapping out plans to raise awareness about maritime-related careers in hopes of luring more Bahamians to the industry. Vice Chairman Brent Williamson explains.
Big drive right now is to get more females in the industry. The other day marked the International Day of Women in the Industry, and we highlighted that as well. So we want to promote opportunities within the industry. You get institutions like LJM Maritime Academy that we're trying to also promote and highlight as opportunities become available. Also private institutions that may be lending any type of training institutions, programs, we want to assist them as we have an economic plan with career opportunities, and we want to try to merge to both of them. And as we go along, we want to highlight all the various opportunities.
Williamson calls the industry one of the country's best kept secrets, adding that he's confident more people will be open to learning about maritime careers through exposure and opportunities related to the field.
The maritime industry is one of the most diversified industries in the world, ranging from maritime law to port management, to environmental management, to port security. I could stay all day listening to various opportunities that we have yet to really even just touch the surface as well. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we maximize the potential within the industry, and we have Bahamians in all sectors of this industry, being engineering, port management, administration. At the end of the day, we want to make sure as this industry add value to the Bahamas, and we go from strength to strength.
An emotional farewell for Chief Superintendent of Police Raymond DeMeritt this afternoon, less than 2 weeks after he was found unresponsive at the Southern Police Station, Kwaku Street. Ahead of his funeral at Evangelistic Temple, the Citizen Security Justice Program and the Kwaku Street Police Station held a memorial service at that community center. Desmond Saunders reports.
Don't cry for me, don't shed a tear. The time I've shared with you will always be. When troubles come, my heart burning.
An emotional tribute for one of the nation's top patriots. Scores of Royal Bahamas police officers remembering the late Chief Superintendent Raymond DeMeritt, who died 2 weeks ago while on duty. Acting officer in charge of the Southern Police Station, Superintendent Jeffrey Ferguson, remembering the veteran officer as a strong leader and friend who left a rich and enduring legacy.
Mr. DeMeritt, he was just an outstanding officer and a gentleman who always went over and beyond to help others. I have known Mr. DeMeritt for a little over 30 years. However, I've only had the opportunity to work with him for the last 6 months as his deputy at Southern Police Station. I found Mr. DeMeritt to be hardworking and dedicated almost to a fault. He literally gave the organization his all, having died on the job. The morning when he came to work, he was just about making ready to start his day when he just slipped away from us. Sometimes because of his tone, his choice of words, and the way he came across and expressed himself, we may have felt some kind of way. But it was just Mr. DeMeritt's love for the job.
DeMeritt died at the age of 52 and was serving as the head of the Southern Police Station, Kwaku Street. Pastor of Shekinah Family Word Center, Bishop Arthur Evans, celebrating his impact on the Kwaku Street community.
I know you lost a colleague. I know you lost a lodge brother. I know you lost a friend. I know you lost a family member. But I am telling you, there's something that's still in your control. Loss is not in your control. Yes, I'm living with loss. And we all, from time to time, will live with loss. But what can we do while we are in that state? Habakkuk says we can open our mouth and give our God thanks.
DeMeritt also worked at the Drug Enforcement Unit, where he was instrumental in the success of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Operation Ceasefire initiative, which seized many illegal weapons and drugs off the streets. Member of Parliament for Centerville, the Honorable Jomo Campbell, branding the officer as a brave champion.
That it is indeed our task, and I say our meaning the community of Centerville, and in particular the Kwaku Street community, to ensure that the vision and the hope that Mr. Demerit had in us carries on with whoever is left the awesome task of having to fill the shoes of Big D.
Chief Superintendent Demerit's death leaves a void in the nation's crime-fighting initiatives. It's a deep loss for officers, family, and friends. He's a comrade and commander whose legacy continues. Here at the Southern Police Station, Desmond Saunders for the Bahamas Tonight.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
I was actually born into farming. My grandfather, who is 80 years old, he's a first-generation farmer. 3 generations later, I decided to go into farming. So we do have 2 operating farms at this time, the one in Nassau and the one in Andros. This season, Access Accelerator assisted us in funding our strawberry project here on Andros. With us being able to access the Fish and Farmers Grant, it has actually given us the capital that we needed to start this farming season for our strawberry crop. We do believe that people eating organic food is very important. We want to offer safe food and organic food. Some persons are still shocked that we've been existing for 8 years. Outside of having to come to our website to make purchases, if we can get more of our products to our clients, we'd be happy to do that, and local distribution would help us with that. I can tell you the industry is not attractive for young people. However, if you are passionate about something, you will definitely be able to excel in that area. And at this point, for me, it's fun to be a farmer in the Bahamas.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on a live to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald's, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plan, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plan, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
Hurricane-battered residents of Abaco and Grand Bahama finally have something to look forward to. The government's preparing to relaunch its small homes repair program in the coming weeks. We get the details from Carla Palmer.
At least we have approximately, I think, is somewhere in the area of 2,000 people.
Chairman of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, Alexander Storr, says that's the number of applicants awaiting assistance of the government's small homes repair program on both islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama following Hurricane Dorian.
What we're doing right now is going through the approvals and the persons we met in place to make sure that everybody should be on the list, make sure there are no duplications, and make sure that the list is ready to go so that once we start, we have no issues.
The assistance comes almost 3 years after that monster storm of 2019 devastated both of those family islands, with Abaco being the hardest hit. Thousands were killed, scores remain missing. Entire communities were washed away as homes and businesses were destroyed.
We hope to relaunch very shortly. The last part is we were waiting on finance to provide funding. That is just about in place. And like I said, we had issues with the way the processes that were in place before. So we wanted to correct those processes, put our new process in place to make sure that that the repairs and the help gets to those that need it the most.
With all that those residents have had to endure, Storr says a smooth transition in the required upgrades is his aim, as the government's small homes repair program gets set to begin.
Some of the challenges we met in place there were duplicate persons were on the list twice, duplicates on the list, contractors were getting duplicate payments. So we just wanted to make sure that once we start, we don't have any of those issues. We have to be as efficient as possible with the people's money, and so we need to make sure that, number one, persons who are doing the work are properly paid, and number two, those that need assistance get the assistance.
Some residents continue to occupy potable housing that has been dubbed Dome City. Storr is of the view that the time is long overdue for these residents' living standards to be improved.
The domes were never intended to be long-term housing, and here we are almost 3 years after the storm, and we still have people living in these domes. What we are trying to do now is to ascertain exactly who was in the domes and what their individual circumstances are. Like I said, we're starting the small home repair program. It's hoped that this program will touch some of those people and they'll be able to move back into their residences. So we're trying to deal with them on a case-by-case basis, and there are programs and plans in place to make sure they're properly taken care of.
Storr has targeted the second week in July for the small homes repair program to commence. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishna. We are currently under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 84 degrees, a relative humidity 74%, south-southeast winds at 12 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,021.1 millibars, that is 30.15 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 87 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Key, Abaco, Marshall, Babaco, a little cooler at 84 degrees. The Berry Islands, 84 as well. Alistair, Bimini, 86 degrees. 83 in Harbor Island. Rock, Sandy, Lutra, 86. Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space, North Andros, and Fresh Creek and Central Andros at 85 degrees. 86 in Otterstown, Cat Island. San Salvador and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma, 85. 86 in Ragged Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 87. Acklands, 87. Matthew Town, Niagara, and the Turks and Caicos Island also reporting 87 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tower King, and the Paint Setter in the northwestern islands tonight through tomorrow, which is Thursday. Your winds are going to be southeast at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The high tide takes place at 9:11 tonight, another high tide at 9:26 tomorrow morning. Now for the central and southeastern islands through Thursday, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, choppy seas. They're going to be around 4 to 7 feet, hence caution flag in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands into Thursday. And then on Friday for the northwest Bahamas, we will see those winds increase to caution level, easterly flow 12 to 18 knots, wave height 3 to 6 feet. High tide 10:06 in the morning with the high low tide at 4:43 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands on Friday, easterly winds once again at 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet, maintaining those caution flags. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Where you been, y'all? I've been looking for you, but hey, y'all. Where you been, y'all? I've been looking for you. I've been chilling out by the bar last night. This y'all, she was looking nice, she blew my mind. Right on the side, I start to order drinks and I drink everything. She make me feel like a king. Now I didn't know I asked to take her home. I said I live alone.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. The extended weather forecast is still ahead.
I wake up, my head now was already gone.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Awesomely, this is a beautiful experience. I can't lie. This is my first time doing this sort of charity work, and I mean, it feels good to help out, you know? There's a can drive coming up and other initiatives are part of the Giving a Helping Hand campaign, and I encourage anyone that's willing to lend their support in any way, shape, or form to come through and give of your time.
I was actually born into farming. My grandfather, who is 80 years old, he's a first-generation farmer. 3 generations later, I decided to go into farming. So we do have 2 operating farms at this time, the one in Nassau and the one in Andros. This season, Access Accelerator assisted us in funding our strawberry project here on Andros. With us being able to access the Fish and Farmers Grant, it has actually given us the capital that we needed to start this farming season for our strawberry crop. We do believe that people eating organic food is very important. We want to offer safe food and organic food. Some persons are still shocked that we've been existing for 8 years. Outside of having to come to our website to make purchases, if we can get more of our products to our clients, we'd be happy to do that, and local distribution would help us with that. I can tell you the industry is not attractive for young people. However, if you are passionate about something, you will definitely be able to excel in that area. And at this point for me, it's fun to be a farmer in the Bahamas.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles. Dozens of high school athletes awarded for their stellar performances at the 2022 BAISS Track and Field Meet. Country's future track stars would receive their trophies at a small ceremony today on the 3rd floor of the Michael Eldon Building, presented to them by officials from the BAISS committee and title sponsor Fidelity. We caught up with them after on The Feeling.
It feels really good, and I feel very confident for my upcoming meets. I ran the 200 meters, the 400 meters, and high jump.
And great. It was awesome. I wasn't expecting it, but it was a surprise.
Basketball news, a tough week in Puerto Rico for our girls under 15 Central basket team. The Bahamas going winless in 3 games against Mexico, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. The week-long championships, which follows the boys under 15 tournament played last week, is also being played in Puerto Rico. On Sunday, Bahamas opened up play with a 101-20 loss to Puerto Rico. Bounced back on Monday and played much better, despite suffering a 79-45 defeat at the hands of the Dominican Republic. Bahamas hopes to close out the tournament in a strong final performance in its last matchup against Puerto Rico later today. In the same vein of player development, the Nico Bowles Skills Camp is underway at the Kendall Isaac Gymnasium. We caught up with the founder on the importance of camps such as these.
But like I say, camps are very, very important. You know, we definitely need to work, and it definitely needs to be a continuous thing. So like I said, we here at campus as staff, we report into these kids. You know, the groups aren't big, you know, so that's where we allow these kids to have more repetition because they definitely need it. And like I say, from the smallest thing to attention to detail, be paying attention to that, and just making sure these kids are keying on it. Because like you say, the smallest thing could make the biggest difference in their game. You know, and like you say, COVID put a damp on the world. You know, so that's a worldwide pandemic. But even so, these kids now, they're energetic, they're energized, they're enthused. You know, they want to come out, they want to learn, they want to be a part of something special. You know, and so.
Bayman boxer Tariano Reno Johnson back home, the 242. We recently caught up with him about what's in the pipeline for him.
As far as for me right now, just got a call. Tariano will be back in the ring just before the end of this year. I'm only looking for the big fights. Of course, you know, I'm well deserving of it. Rated in the top 10 fighters in the world. So therefore, it only could be, you know, justly rewarded to me to fight some of the best fighters in the world. We're looking at, hopefully, a Jamal Charlo, who I know for certain, you know, he's going to be a bit difficult to get because they're afraid of me. But that said, we're out there, we're working really hard. But hey, tonight is a...
In baseball news, Chavez Young has excelled with the Buffalo Bison since his return to AAA baseball and was recognized as the club's player of the week. In 6 games, Young hit .368, scored 6 runs with 3 stolen bases and a .478 on-base percentage. The Bison are 4-2 over that time span and currently lead the International League East at 41-30. The 24-year-old Toronto Blue Jays outfielder is in the midst of a 5-game hit streak and has made highlights defensively in the field to coincide with his production at the plate. On June 21st, he led them to an 8-7 win over the St. Paul Saints. Young made a spectacular leaping catch over the center field wall to rob the Saints Jermaine Palacios of a grand slam. He finished 2 for 3 and scored a run in the Bison's 2-1 win on Sunday to include the 6-game set against the Saints. Over the past 2 weeks, Young is batting .244 with a .367 on-base percentage. He's doubled twice and hit a home run while scoring 10 runs and driving in 6. Well, certainly was a special night at Super Club Breezers at the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development's National Commission for Persons with Disabilities hosted a reception for returning Special Olympics medalists and athletes who competed at the 2022 Special Olympics Games in Orlando, Florida. The event attended by the minister responsible for social services, the Honorable Obi Wilshcombe, Special Olympics athletes, coaches, family, and friends, as well as other government officials and supporters. The highlight of the evening for the team was a surprise visit by 2-time Olympic gold medalist Shawnee Miller-Uibo. Miller-Uibo made the tribute to the achievements of the Special Olympians and took photos with them prior to her appearance at the B3A Nationals. And that was your look at sports. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Drop everything you're doing and head to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets for great savings like Rainbow Corned Beef, 12-ounce, $2.39. Mott's Apple Juice, 86-ounce, $4.99. Fresh Limes, 4 for $1. Olivia Cooking Oil, 48-ounce, $4.49. Chicken Drumsticks, $1.29 per pound. Save, save, save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Ordinary People is back with a new season. Join us on the ZNS Network.
Anybody drugs no more? Not New York's bestsellers, the hood's bestseller.
I like that. Coming soon.
People are only going to say yes or no. And if they say no, keep on trying until you get a yes.
Ordinary People.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, potential tropical cyclone number 2 at 5 o'clock continues to hug the northern coast of Venezuela as it moves rapidly towards the west at around 21 miles per hour. The maximum sustained winds remain at 40 miles per hour, but some slow intensification is expected over the next couple of days, and by Friday and thereabout, it could become a tropical storm. And our forecast for tonight, we're going in for cloudy conditions at first, and then you could have an isolated thunderstorm taking place, but the later part of the night should be partly cloudy. 79 degrees for your low temperature, and your forecast for tomorrow, periods of clouds and sunshine with an isolated afternoon thunderstorm possible late, though. 89 degrees for the high temperature. And the extended weather forecast Isolated showers continue into Friday, and then come Saturday, we'll see some more improved conditions, but the breezy conditions will continue into the weekend. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s. They'll feel more like the mid-90s, so do keep yourself hydrated during the daytime. Makisha.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Everyone has a legacy to create our own footprints in the sand. Although our stories are